Hi there, and thank you for joining UnSCRIPted. I'm Angela Kashuba, Dean of the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy. We have an amazing community at this school with a shared goal of solving the world's most challenging health issues. And I'm excited for you to hear unscripted stories of our faculty, staff, students, alums, and partners. And today I've invited Dr. Shelley Earp to my office for a conversation. Shelley, thanks for visiting with us today.
It's great to be here, Angela. Thank you.
So Dr. Earp is director of the UNC Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center. He's the Lineberger Professor of Cancer Research, and he is also director of UNC Cancer Care and a wonderful partner to our school and our faculty. So thank you for that.
It's been a great partnership.
Can you talk a little bit about your journey to Carolina?
Yes, I'm almost a lifer. I came here in 1966 to medical school. I grew up in Baltimore, went to Hopkins as an undergraduate, but decided to come down here and have basically been here ever since.
Wow.
I was in the Army during the Vietnam War and in the medical corps. Luckily, I was doing research. I didn't have to go to Vietnam, but I was able to come back with my wonderful wife who was in the School of Public Health, and we settled here and have been here ever since. So I've watched, I've grown up at the place and I watched the place grow over time.
Yeah. And what is it about Carolina that's so special? You came here to train and you stayed here.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. One, we have this marvelous state mission where in our clinical home and really across our schools, but clinically, we take care of everybody who comes to our door. We take care of them regardless of their ability to pay or their socioeconomic status or their race or ethnicity. Back in the early 60s, that was a problem for certain people to get care. And I was proud to be associated with that and have loved it. And I think one of the things that's really made us a great place is that ambition and growth have been focused on getting better, but when you brought people in, we didn't have enough of this or that, so we had to work together.
Oh, yes.
So it really, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, we developed a consistency of collaborating across disciplines. When I got here, there was nothing on the other side of Manning Drive. The second year I got here, my first lab was in a trailer that they put on Manning Drive.
Wow.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So we have now built up, we meaning everybody has built up a $1.2 billion research infrastructure at the university because of this collaborative nature.
Yeah.
And Cancer Center and School of Pharmacy have been right at the beginning of this.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you've been, you talked about your first lab being in a trailer. So you've been consistently.
I was always very partial to Bob Bluen because his first office was in a trailer.
Was in a trailer, that's right. And he maintains that sign as well, Trailer 41, I think it is, the dean's office. You have been consistently funded by the NIH for 40 years. So can you talk about your research program and how that's developed over time?
Yeah, it's very germane to the School of Pharmacy because what I've been fascinated with, I learned about kind of first principles when I was at Hopkins in my developmental biology course. I've always been involved in cellular signaling in one way or another. It's grown, but it goes in every direction. So I started studying intercellular signaling, shifted when tyrosine kinases came out. This is a form of phosphorylation that really regulates growth and development and the immune system. And I got fascinated by this in the late 70s. And I've been concentrated on that as a scientist. And I'm fascinated by signaling and what goes on inside the cell and what comes from the outside of the cell that makes this happen. But it's taken me in so many directions.
Yes.
And like almost everybody in cancer now, it's taken me to become a pseudo-immunologist. So one of the kinases that we discovered actually has become a target for cancer, both inside the cancer cell and in the immune system. And going down that path, I had the marvelous opportunity to help co-recruit Stephen Fry when he came from Glaxo. And Stephen and I got together early on and developed a collaboration for his expertise in making drugs that could change kinase activity and our target. And that's been a wonderful collaboration over 10 years, and it really drives a lot of my laboratory. And so my group does signaling, they do the med chem, we get together on a frequent basis to figure things out, and now we're actually into patients.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you developed a company, created a company, and talk about the journey from developing that company to going into patients.
So we had a pretty remarkable run because we did it on a shoestring.
Yeah.
We got some angel investments and were able to put together a very small staff. We had intellectual property through the university, and the university was good at using Kickstart to help us get some of the legal aspects done. We've never had more than 2 employees and 3 partners, but we've been able to parlay that into a phase 1 trial, which is finished and has shown that our clinical candidate is safe in patients. And we now have 3 other clinical trials that are opening, combining it in various things. So, and we've done it with very little increased funding. We've had luck along the way, and but it's been fun to learn that side of things.
Right, that's terrific. I was just going back over the number of faculty who have been supported by the Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center in the School of Pharmacy, and the list is longer than 10 people, and we have laboratories and centers that are supported by Lineberger as well. Can you talk about the Lineberger Cancer Center and the approach to supporting schools and faculty across campus? You mentioned 8 schools now. I mean, it's really remarkable.
Yeah, it's been, well, one, it's been supported by the administration all the way up. The Cancer Center is actually in the School of Medicine, but in all the deans that I worked with, they all understood that cancer is too big of a problem just to be handled by medicine, and they have encouraged the use of our Lineberger grant funding, our wonderful state funding, the University Cancer Research Fund, to reach out across the entire university. So the Cancer Center has about 400 faculty members, and I bet 20 or 25 of those are from the School of Pharmacy.
Yes.
But there are over 35 or 40 different departments, and we seek out people who we know have a cancer relationship. But deans and department chairs come to us and say, here's somebody that really we're thinking about recruiting, who could really, they would improve the educational and scholarly community, but they clearly are interested in cancer because there's a lot of cancer researchers out there. And we are able to work with deans and chairs to come together to create positions, usually in the school or that, but the Cancer Center can help with the startup and the infrastructure and the technology that they need.
Yes.
And the ability of working with the School of Pharmacy faculty and DPOP and other groups that are developing programs around understanding how the School of Pharmacy and pharmacists can be involved in prevention and early detection.
Right.
As great as it is for us to have better cancer therapies, it is better to prevent cancer
Right.
or to detect it early
Right.
when surgery is curative. But it takes understanding the problems. Tobacco is still the first leading cause of preventable death from cancer and heart disease. Obesity is second. The pharmacy as a hub throughout this is going to be a place where we need to tap in for tobacco cessation, for messaging, for obviously using aids to stop nicotine addiction.
Right.
So that's one thing that we do, and we're doing research with different groups, with federally qualified healthcare centers. But pharmacies represent, as you said, an enormous potential for prevention and early detection. Our early detection projects are looking at mailed fit kits.
Oh, interesting.
Into areas of the state. Colonoscopy is not easy for everybody to get, particularly for people in rural areas. But mailed fit kits, we believe, are one answer. But where do we bring them back to? What's the hub in these rural areas that we could use to say, bring it here, and we'll figure out how to get it. And then if you're positive, if you have blood in your stool, then we go to colonoscopy.
Yes,
but that's a practical kind of $20 rather than $5,000 per crack.
Right.
So those are the kind of things that we want to work with all aspects of the healthcare system. And you and I have discussed this before. Pharmacies are an underutilized population for doing this.
Yeah. Oh, I think so. And the students that we are graduating now are really practice ready, and they're really excited about working with patients and improving the health of patients. And so I'm excited about the future and what we might be able to do in North Carolina. That's terrific. So when you're not thinking about cancer or the cancer center or your own research work, what do you like to do to decompress?
Well, I will go back to when I came. I came in 1966. And you may or may not know this, but Dean Smith never won a championship until I got here.
Okay.
So
you are the secret sauce.
I am the secret sauce. It's clearly my voice in Carmichael Auditorium that started this, and I have maintained that. Fanaticism, is that right? Over the years. I love Carolina sports. I am reveling in the tremendous success of our women's sports. We have the most amazing women's sports program.
Yes.
Our women's lacrosse coach has been incredibly successful. She's the daughter of one of my college classmates, fraternity brothers at Hopkins. Right? Karen Shelton was tremendous, and Karen married one of the people, was a classmate of mine at Hopkins, Willie Scroggs. So I've been involved with that. And then we obviously have the amazing women's soccer team. Our women's tennis team now just won their fourth national championship. So we have a second to none women's sports. I do love basketball and football.
That's wonderful. So you really are the secret sauce. You are connected in many ways. Yeah, you can never leave Carolina.
Well, I think there's very little doubt that I won't be leaving anytime soon.
Well, Shelley, it's been a pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you so much for coming by and sharing some things with us. The future is very exciting, and we are just honored to be able to partner with the Lineberger Cancer Center on all of these exciting things that are coming.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. It's our pleasure. And thank you so much for joining this episode of UnSCRIPted. We love sharing stories of those who make the UNC Eshelman School of Pharmacy excellent. And I hope you will join us for the next episode of UnSCRIPted, conversations with people who are advancing medicine for life.